It's very interesting.
Now, we do have to take a break. Studs and duds and a bit of NBA to come after this. It's so easy to bet on the go with Betstar. Head to betstar.mobi and take us on anywhere, anytime. Fast and friendly service, online or over the phone with the best customer service team in the business. A break and plenty more to come. Welcome back to Betstars and Stripes. Reminder of double fixed odds and all Group 1s this spring from 8 a.m. on race day. Of course, the Cox Plates are on Saturday. Next port of call, what's Piero opening up at the moment?
$3.60 yesterday. I haven't looked since yesterday.
So you get about $7 on Piero if you line up that way. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's massive value in the double fixed odds.
Absolutely. Yep.
It'll be interesting betting for the Cox Plate next
Certainly
week.
Will.
Final of the Kremlin Cup. Caroline Wozniacki leading Samantha Stosur 5-2 in the first set. Stosur came from a set down yesterday to beat Anna Ivanovic, so she'll probably need to do the same unless she can, pull something out late in this set and turn it around from 5-2 down.
I tell you, I saw Anna Ivanovic in the flesh this year at the Adam Scott. It was the President's Cup. It must have been. What a knockout!
I thought you were going to say it the other way. I was like, well, really? No.
Yes, she is a beautiful woman.
Yes. Sorry, where'd that come from?
And South Australia have won by 9 wickets against Queensland. Before we get into studs and duds, Brendan in Horsham wants to chat about some betting terminology. Brendan, good evening.
G'day, boys. G'day, Murphy. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. You had a busy weekend on the blower, you have?
Oh, I'm stalking you, mate. Don't worry about that. Hey, remember I can remember like we'd be betting at school or betting anywhere. At footy, we used to say, how many goals in? So that's the sort of the same thing as betting on the
like a line.
It is.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yes. Because that's been around in Oz football and that. We used to do that for ages, didn't we?
I think that I reckon, Brendan, when they were talking about how many goals in, was probably more just conversational rather than betting. Because, I mean, sports betting is a reasonably new phenomenon. I mean, we've been betting on horse racing for 150 years. In Australia, we've been betting on sport for, let's call it, 15 to 20 years. So it's reasonably new. And the line is exactly the same thing. The line is basically how much of a head start does the favourite need to give in order to make this contest an even money contest.
Yeah, often it's sort of with the goals in, it's just two mates sitting around at home, one barracks for Collingwood, one barracks for Carlton. One's a lot better than the other, and they always want to bet, but they know that they're unlikely to win, so I'll give you 5 goals. I'll give you a 5-goal start.
It's the sporting example of in horse racing. They just add extra weight to the better horse.
Yep.
To try and level them out.
A bit of NBA to come shortly, but we'll kick it off with studs and duds in this segment. Ed, starting off with the good side of the coin, the other studs. Who have we got first up?
Well, we talked about the Jets earlier. I'll go with Sean Green, the running back, 32 carries, 161 yards, 3 touchdowns against the Colts. That's the kind of thing they need, especially take the pressure off Mark Sanchez at quarterback.
I'm going to... we're doing studs?
Yep.
I'm doing Desi Bryant, wide receiver from the Cowboys. 13 catches last week, Ed.
Extraordinary.
What's the...
Oh,
I know it's not a record.
The record would probably be in the 20s, I would
that's
assume.
big.
But that's great.
13, 95 yards.
And he's been inconsistent too, so that's great.
95 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers quarterback. They had a pretty lacklustre start to the season, and he seems to have found form against a great defence of the Houston Texans. He had 338 yards, 6 touchdowns, and a great performance to get Green Bay on the right track.
On to the duds of the week, Ed.
Duds, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs backfield. This is a team that many thought would actually contend in the AFC West. Had Peyton Hillis, Jamal Charles, and Matt Castle at quarterback. Well, Hillis hasn't played it down yet. He's been injured. Castle was injured last week or 2 weeks ago. Jamal Charles now appears to be injured. The team's 1-5 going nowhere. That's just a bad situation in Kansas City.
I'm going to go with the 49ers. I mean, they were talked about as being the best team in the NFL early this season. Well, early this season, and their defense has been lousy, and their defense, particularly on the weekend, was lousy. Let go of 26 points or allowed 26 points, and that just won't cut it come Super Bowl time.
Agreed.
Well, if you're going to give it to the San Francisco defense, I'm going for their offense. Alex Smith, they scored 3 points last week.
Yeah.
3 interceptions, Alex Smith, quarterback for the 49ers. NGE, not good enough.
Yeah, that's a B. And they were very high on him, and he's turned a corner. We're going to let him do a little bit more this year. Well, they may have to rethink
One
that.
field goal.
Yeah,
I think as a general rule, if your offense and defense make duds, you're not having a good game. It's a dangerous sign.
That was a bad game if you're a 49er fan.
Caroline Wozniacki with another break of serve to take the first set 6-2 against Samantha Stozer in the final over there in Russia. But Stozer was able to come from this similar position yesterday. So
Hundreds have happened twice in a row.
Agreed.
that's right. On to a little bit of NBA chat. Pre-season rolls on now as we get closer to the early part of November. Any major observations thus far?
Well, you don't want to worry about the preseason too much. That's the first observation. Don't get stressed out about that. A lot of people asking me about Andrew Bogut. Bogut is still recovering from that ankle injury. He's apparently going to be looked at in L.A. And Stephon Curry, one of his teammates, actually rolled his ankle the other night, I think against the Trailblazers. He also will be looked at by that same doctor.
He has had a bad run.
He has. I got criticized actually for calling him injury prone, and I guess that has a negative connotation, but he certainly has had problems with injuries. That's absolutely an issue.
I'm coming to your defense here, Ed. I think if you consistently get injured, it's fair to call him injury prone.
I think it's the Australian factor where people thought I was criticizing him, but he's had a bad luck of injuries.
Smashed his elbow, what must have been 18 months ago or something now.
Yeah, that was bad.
But even last year, he wasn't shooting, was he? He wasn't shooting at all. He was just under the basket, protecting and letting other people shoot. So
yeah, it's a tough one. I feel bad for him. He's got a new fresh home in Golden State. Might be able to help a little bit. The other big one, and I know you're a Lakers guy, Al, but Dwight Howard has yet to really take the court. They think this Sunday maybe in that would be tomorrow, I guess, in a preseason game to get out there and go. But again, as I said, he had missed last season with a back. I think his back has been an issue. So he's going to get out there. And that's the thing with him and both Steve Nash. We're so excited about having them in LA, but Nash has had back issues for a long time. If you watch him on the sidelines, he stretches and does all sorts of Pilates and stuff like that for his back. So that could be an issue.
Well, he's 104 years old or something.
He is. And look, the Lakers, again, though, they're not going to worry about that. We don't need to start worrying about that till, April.
I completely agree. And I think that they will have a slow start to the season. They've got basically a brand new nucleus of their starting five.
Yeah.
And as a consequence, they haven't played together even in the preseason. As a consequence, the chemistry is such an important part of basketball. They'll find their feet slowly, I think.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, do you bet with other... I mean...
Yeah, I have a bet.
Because you love your basketball.
I have a bet if I'm watching or going to a game, I'll have a bet. If I know I'm not going to watch a game, I won't go out of my way. But if I'm going to sit down, whether it be an AFL game or an NBA game or an NFL game, if I'm going to sit down and watch it, I want to have some skin in it.
I see.
I like it.
As like the old American horse trainer that said, talking about betting on his own horses, he said, I can't let them go around naked. Yeah.
That's a great line.
Yeah, it's a nice line. Yeah, I see Cavey was his usual self-effacing self during the week.
Well, he was getting involved in the A-Rod thing, wasn't he? Well, I don't know what those two guys together. It's kind of like what are they going to do? It's like, of course, those two guys are friends and pals.
We'll try and dig up the audio because the audio
he's fairly comfortable with his own ability, isn't he?
Oh, he certainly is. Yeah,
we'll try and grab that grab for you before the.
We've got that now. We'll just give you a little bit of.
This is talking about
A-Rod.
A-Rod.
He's talking about he's one of the best to ever play. Period. I think really the difference is sometimes he forgets he's the best. You know what I mean? And where I don't.
Oh my God.
That is correct.
That is great stuff.
We should open the show with that. That is great. Look, I will tell you, you want the difference between American sportsmen and Australian sportsmen? There you go. Yeah. Just play that.
What do you do when you barrack for a team and there's just their star player you just despise? I don't know what you do. I'm a Lakers fan and I can't warm to Kobe.
It's funny. It's funny. The Olympics was really hard for me to watch because then he made some huge shots, and I love Team USA. But Kobe comes in, I'm like, oh no, it's Kobe. I have to actually barrack for Kobe. But he's a hell of a player, and you just kind of have to excuse that sort of those idiotic comments because he is a great basketball player.
I was going to say, give us a team from left field, you guys.
Well, Chicago's a $15. So Miami $3.20, Lakers $4.15, Oklahoma $5, and then you go out to $15. Chicago $17, San Antonio $21. Boston, and $29, which would be as short as the Clippers have been probably in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Not to say that I think they can win it, but Derrick Rose, I mean, if he stays healthy, if his knee's good, he is a serious superstar. And I guess if you're looking for value, the obvious is Miami and
Blake going?
Blake's going really well. I saw
He'll
a
be
bit
all
of
right.
footage,
Yeah.
He's a big boy and can leap.
Good athlete, isn't he? Hey, look, what's Indiana?
Nice
Do
to
you have
see a
them on
Ranger
there? I
doing
mean,
that.
I don't think they're going to win it either. That's a young team that's got a lot going for it. I mean, again, you're going to have to get past Miami. You're going to have to get past Chicago, get past Boston, but that's a decent team.
$34.
Okay. Yeah, there you
$34.
go.
I'll actually just quickly touch on while we're in NBA. I may as well touch on the MVP market as well because we're up with that. LeBron James favourite $2.75, Durant $4.50, Kobe $10, Dwight Howard $11, Chris Paul $13, Kevin Love $13, and basically goes out $15 or greater the rest of the field.
Yeah, look, I love Durant. I think he's going to be the next big superstar in the NBA, but he'd be one I'd throw something at maybe if LeBron's not going to win it. I don't see Howard doing it. You never know. If Howard gets healthy, he could be in there as well.
I love watching Durant play. I love his physique.
Unbelievable.
You look at LeBron, and he is as wide as a house. He's strong. He's powerful, explosive. And Durant is just as wily,
slender. Isn't
yeah,
he?
he's just amazing
really
to watch.
slender. And it was actually funny. It was a big question coming out in the when he was coming out of college. Was he strong enough? And I guess you could still argue he probably could get a little stronger. He's pushed around a little bit come playoff time, but. Boy, that guy can shoot. I tell you what, just stop and pop from 38 feet, from distances that most people could barely hit the rim. He can just bury it. He's a remarkable player. Certainly is.
We'll take a quick break. Stozer with a break early in the second set as well for a 1-love lead, but she always...
nice correlation there.
Yes.
I guess that Wozniacki will break her straight back.
I'm happy to lay Stozer.
It's 15 all at the
It'll
moment.
be business as usual.
Stozer always has problems against those players that just defend really well and ask you to play one more shot because she's obviously that high volume of winners and errors, and if they ask you another question, she's more likely to probably make a mistake in the end. We'll take that break and be back with a preview of the weekend's action after this. 2 minutes to 9 o'clock. Betstars and Stripes brought to you by Betstar. Take Betstar on at betstar.com.au and you were right, Turfy. Wozniacki gets the break straight back. Didn't even have to look, as you said.
Didn't have to look.
So it's 1-1 in the second set. Wozniacki winning the first 6-2. But I'll take a look at some of the key games for this weekend.
Yeah, let's go through the games that we were actually able to watch here while in Australia. And we'll start off with live on Fox Sports, 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. We've got the Redskins-Giants game. The Redskins have shortened here. They've been 3.30 into 3.15. The Giants, $1.37. The line is a flat 6, overs and unders, 51 points.
Now, Doc and I briefly mentioned this one. Redskins won 2 last year. They won 2 games over the Giants. They've won 9 of the last 12. Giants flying back from the West Coast, right? Against
so you work on that
coming
as well.
back. I think there's an element of that. I think Robert Griffin does provide some problems that the Giants could struggle with. I think he's a runner.
He's a runner. I was about to say, I think he got 2 touchdowns a couple of games ago.
He's a real danger, and I think he is the kind of
week.
quarterback that could give the Giants a little bit of trouble. The big key will be, can the Redskins stop the Giants? And I'm not convinced that they can. I actually think this might be a high-scoring game.
They can go back-to-back, the Giants, can't they?
They can, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely they can. But the interesting game, and I would say look carefully at the Redskins. History doesn't tend to lie that often.
And it's a marquee game. These guys have got some rivalry between them.
They do. It's a big rivalry.
So when they played last year, interestingly enough, they actually played it on the 10th anniversary of September 11. They played the game on September 11,
right.
And they played it in New York. But
Yep.
That'll be a great game.
Good one to look at.
We are playing at 4 same time Monday morning. Baltimore take on the Houston Texans. They're both 5-1. As we touched earlier in the show, Ravens got some key injuries there, and as a consequence have been big drifters. They've been $3.30 out to $3.70. Texans $1.35 into $1.29. The line is a flat 7, and the overs and unders 48.5.
Yeah, the line's not enough.
I don't mind that line, actually. I think the line is interesting. I don't think the Houston Texans blow them out. Yeah. I think the 7's not bad. Let's not forget they lost Brian Cushing for the year, which is one of their best linebackers, the Texans. So that's hurt them a lot. Green Bay really moved the football on them. Now, Joe Flacco is not Aaron Rodgers, but he can throw the football okay. So this one, again, is worth a look, I think. Worth a look.
Doc's staying out.
Fair enough.
I think
I couldn't persuade you.
No.
I'm playing with your money.
This has been it's been an interesting season for one of these teams. It's live on 1HD at 4 a.m. on Monday. The